Welcome to SATV News. This is Anaf Hussain with our headlines. Bangladesh is the world champion in forgery, says Dr. Yunus. Reject fraud for prosperity, calls for ethical use of technology. 10-party alliance has been attacked in various places, says Jamaat-e-Islami chief. BNP chairperson Tareq Rahman set to visit Rajshahi tomorrow after 22 years. Now in details. Chief Advisor Dr. Mohammad Yunus said today Bangladesh is the world champion in forgery. He also said this country can never be a land of fraud. He was speaking at the inaugural session of the Digital Device and Innovation Expo 2026, the country's largest technology showcase at the Bangladesh-China Friendship Conference Center, stressing that tomorrow's world will be a truly different world, citing an example of an individual who used all forged certificates to enter a foreign country as a doctor. Dr. Yunus said the nation must move away from such practices to fully benefit from advanced technology. The chief advisor further said Bangladesh must use technological ethically to avoid misuse and succeed in a fast-changing digital world. Bangladesh Jamaat-e-Islami Amir Dr. Shafiqur Rahman said people from the 10-party alliance are being attacked in various places. He also said development would be ensured through peaceful and dignified politics. He made these remarks today while conducting public outreach in Dhaka 15 at North Kafrul High School in the capital. Shafiqur Rahman said he is trying to take every local problem into his mind, and he is elected by the people's verdict. He will make his optimum effort to develop the area as an ideal constituency. Referring to his rival, he said he has one special opponent there and other as well as and welcome them. The Jamaat-e-Islami chief further called on all candidates to campaign politely, peacefully and in a disciplined manner, to respect one another and to present their respective positions to the people. Speaking in the broader national context, he said they want to build a forward-looking Bangladesh based on justice and fairness and do not want to engage in divisive politics over past issues, adding that they want everyone to move forward together. BNP chairperson Tareq Rahman is set to visit Rajshahi after more than 2 decades. He will address an election rally at the city's historic Madrasa ground tomorrow. The rally, jointly organized by 3 districts, will see Tareq Rahman speak as the chief guest. His visit has sparked renewed enthusiasm among BNP leaders and activists, with local party leaders preparing for what they hope will be the largest political gathering in Rajshahi's history. Tareq Rahman last visited Rajshahi in 2004 to attend a union representatives conference. After 22 years, he is scheduled to return to the city tomorrow to address an election rally at the historic Madrasa ground. The massive rally is being organized jointly by Rajshahi, Nator and Chapai-Nawabganj districts. From the rally stage, the BNP chairperson is expected to introduce 13 parliamentary candidates from the 3 districts formally. U.S. Ambassador to Bangladesh Brent T. Crescenten today said that the United States is ready to work with any government elected in accordance with the will of Bangladeshi people, reiterating that Washington will not take sides in the country's upcoming national elections. The ambassador made the remarks while speaking to journalists following a courtesy meeting with Chief Election Commission AMM Nasir Uddin at the Election Commission building at Agarga. Only the people of Bangladesh have the right to determine the outcome of their elections, he said, adding that the United States would support and cooperate with whatever decision the Bangladeshi electoral makes. Referring to his meeting with the CEC, the envoy said Discussions focused on government's preparations for the upcoming 13th National Parliamentary election and referendum. A total of 4,32,989 expatriate voters have completed voting in the 13th National Parliamentary election and referendum after registering through the Postal Vote BD app. As of 10:30 a.m. this morning, 7,66,862 ballots registered through the app had reached expatriate destination countries. Among them, 4,99,328 expatriate voters received their ballots, while 4,32,989 voters completed the voting process. A total of 15,33,683 voters, both domestic and expatriate, have registered to vote in the upcoming election and referendum through the Postal Vote BD app. Chief of Army Staff General Wakaruzaman today directed troops deployed in the aid of civil authorities to maintain strict neutrality, professionalism and restraint as the country prepares for the 13th National Parliamentary election and referendum. The Army Chief visited Potuakhali and Khulna to review the overall law and order situation ahead of the polls to inspect Army personnel deployed under the In Aid to the Civil Power arrangement. During the visit, he observed the activities of deployed troops and the ground issued necessary operational directives and exchanged views with the Civil Administration ISP said. A similar coordination meeting was later held at the Khulna Divisional Commissioner's office. Discussion at the meeting focused on inter-agency coordination and overall security management to ensure that the upcoming national election is held in a peaceful, fair, credible manner, the release said. Senior Army commanders, divisional commissioner, senior officials of the civil administration and law enforcement agencies, and members of the media were present during the visit. Armed men have abducted 6 farmers from the hilly area of Waikangs in Cox's Bazar, Teknaf Upazila. The incident occurred on Tuesday afternoon in the hills adjacent to Kombonia Para and Minabazar, said chief of the local police outpost. The abductees have been identified as Muhammad Jamir, Muhammad Munna, Muhammad Alam, Muhammad Rafiq, Muhammad Mojahar, Mostaq Ahmed, all residents of Jimakhola village in Waikang Union. Shah Jalal, acting chairman of Waikang Union Council, said the farmers were taken at gunpoint while working in the fields near the hills. Viewers, we are taking a short break. Stay with us.
সারা দেশে লাখো মানুষের কঠোর কর্মতৎপরতা ও নিষ্ঠায় এসএ পরিবহন পার্সেল অ্যান্ড কুরিয়ার সার্ভিস এখন 16 কোটি মানুষের হাতের নাগালে। দীর্ঘ 30 বছর ধরে বিশ্বস্ততা ও দ্রুততার সাথে সেবা দেওয়ায় গ্রাহক সেবায় এখন শীর্ষে। বাংলাদেশে গ্রাহক সেবার সাফল্যের পর এসএ পরিবহন পার্সেল অ্যান্ড কুরিয়ার সার্ভিস এখন বিশ্ব বাণিজ্য কেন্দ্র সিঙ্গাপুরে। আপনার যে কোনো পণ্য সিঙ্গাপুর থেকে বাংলাদেশে বুকিং এর জন্য যোগাযোগ করুন। এসএ পরিবহন প্রাইভেট লিমিটেড, লজিস্টিক্স পার্সেল অ্যান্ড কুরিয়ার সার্ভিস, 22 রবার্টস লেন, সিঙ্গাপুর 218302। ফোন 0065 629 24900।
Welcome back. You're watching SATV News. News from abroad. Ajit Patwar, the Deputy Chief Minister of India's wealthiest state of Maharashtra, died on Wednesday, along with 4 people on board when his charter aircraft went down in flames, the aviation regulator said. Parwar was en route from the financial capital Mumbai to his home region to canvass in local body election, reported local media outlets. 2 of his staff and 2 crew were also aboard the VSR-45 aircraft. According to VK Sain, the director of VSR Ventures, the plane crashed during its approach to the city of Baramati, but the cause was not clear. Parwar backed Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Bharatiya Janata Party in the state government, leading a faction that split in 2023 from the opposition Nationalist Congress Party. In a post on X, Narendra Modi said Parwar's death was shocking and saddening. US President Donald Trump said another US armada was floating towards Iran, and he hoped that Tehran made a deal with Washington. He made these remarks during a speech on Tuesday, since Iran earlier launched the crackdown on protests accompanied by a blanket internet blackout. Trump has given mixed signals on intervention, which some opponents of the clerical leadership see as the only way to bring about change. Meanwhile, regarding Iraq, the US president said the United States would no longer help Iraq if the Middle East nation picks Nouri al-Maliki as its prime minister. Last time Maliki was in power, the country descended into poverty and total chaos. That should not be allowed to happen again, said Trump. Europe is no longer Washington's primary center of gravity, and the shift is structural, not temporary, European Union Foreign Policy Chief Kaja Kallas said on Wednesday, as European leaders grapple with how to adjust to US President Donald Trump's approach to the transatlantic relationship. Speaking at the European Defense Agency's annual conference, Kallas added that while the EU still seeks strong transatlantic ties with the United States will remain an ally, Europe must adapt to new realities, and NATO needs to become more European to maintain its strength. The risk of a full-blown return to coercive power politics is very real, she added. Ukraine has identified areas in an agreement with the United States on post-war recovery that need to be worked through the more depth, said the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on Wednesday. The recovery agreement is part of a wider deal on ending the nearly 4-year war with Russia. Work with the American side is progressing actively, and on the Ukrainian side, we are working with maximum efficiency, Zelensky said on X. Meanwhile, Russian drones damaged ports infrastructure in Ukraine's southern region of Odessa, injuring 3 on the Black Sea coast. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer arrived in Beijing on Wednesday evening for a visit aimed at strengthening political and business ties with China as relations between Western countries and the US become more volatile. Traveling with a delegation of more than 50 business leaders, Starmer is expected to meet with President Xi Jinping and Premier Li Qiang on Thursday before traveling to Shanghai on Friday. For talks with local executives, the visit could mark a critical shift in ties between Britain and China after years of deep acrimony over Beijing's crackdown on political freedoms in Hong Kong's China. China's supports for Russia in Ukraine war, an allegation by British security services that China regularly spies on politicians and officials. China on Wednesday said it is ready to enhance political mutual trust with the UK and deepen practical cooperation. A US Immigration and Customs Enforcement agent tried to get into Ecuador consulate in Minneapolis on Tuesday but was prevented from entering the premises by consulate staffers, the country's foreign ministry said. The attempted entry prompted the foreign ministry to send a note of protest to the U.S. embassy in Quito, the Ecuadorian capital, demanding such incidents not be repeated, the ministry said in a statement. The statement carried a headline referring to the incident as an attempt incursion into the consulate of Ecuador in Minneapolis by ICE agents. It said the consulate staff members' actions to prevent ICE entry ensure the protection of Ecuadorian nationals who were in the building at the time. The incident occurred during a mass deportation operation being conducted by some 3,000 heavily armed agents of ICE and the U.S. Venezuela's ousted Prime Minister Nicolas Maduro must be returned from the United States to his country to be tried by a court in the oil-producing nation, said Colombian President Gustavo Petro on Tuesday. Maduro is being held in a New York prison after his capture in Caracas by U.S. forces in early January. In an operation ordered by Donald Trump, Petro's remark came a week before a trip to Washington, where he will meet Trump for the first time. After maintaining tense relations since the U.S. president took office in 2025. Before agreeing the White House meeting, Trump repeatedly accused Petro without providing evidence of allowing a steady flow of cocaine into the United States and referred to the Colombian leader as a sick man. Japan's government on Wednesday condemned multiple ballistic missile launches by North Korea, calling the country's nuclear and missile development programs absolutely unacceptable. Speaking at a regular news conference in Tokyo, Deputy Chief Cabinet Secretary Kei Sato said the North's launches on Tuesday threatened public safety both in Japan and around the world. South Korea's Joint Chief of Staff said the missiles were launched from an area near the North capital, Pyongyang, at around 3:50 p.m. local time towards the sea of its east coast. It said missiles flew about 350 kilometers. The latest launch comes during senior U.S. Defense Department officials' visit to South Korea, where he discussed modernizing their military alliance as Washington seeks a more limited role in the combined defense efforts against North Korea. Severe flooding in Mozambique, Mohinhika district displaced thousands, forcing residents to evacuate submerged homes and seek refuge in temporary shelters on Tuesday, as efforts to deliver aid to isolate area continues. Residents of flood-stricken Josina Island described enduring desperate conditions before being rescued. The disaster has wreaked havoc on communities, leaving roads impassable and homes devastated. Cornfield in region remains submerged. Boiling concerns over food security efforts are underway to provide relief. Rescued residents have been receiving food and shelter, including children seen eating meals at temporary counters. Local volunteers have also mobilized to assist stranded traders and boat operators. Record-breaking heavy wave backed Australia's southeast for a fifth day on Wednesday, fanning bushfires and straining the energy grid. The heat wave is the worst since 2009 Black Saturday bushfires that killed 173 people in the state of Victoria and is not expected to ease until the weekend, authorities said. The temperatures had eased slightly on Wednesday, while the upper western region of New South Wales and southwestern Queensland recorded temperature above 48 Celsius by the late afternoon. Before ending, we go through the headlines again. Bangladesh is the world champion in forgery, says Dr. Yunus. Rejects fraud for prosperity. Calls for ethical use of technology. 10-party alliance is being attacked in various places, says Jamaat-e-Islami chief. BNP chairman Tareq Rahman will visit Rajshahi tomorrow after 22 years. You are up to date with our top stories so far here on SATV. And to know the latest news, visit www.satv.tv. Stay with us.